What is up, everybody? So I know a lot of people have held off on Tubeless because they think it's a pain to do it yourself, and that's 100% true. Now, that's what we're going to do tonight, is we're going to mess with trying to do Tubeless ourselves. I have already tried to mess with it with another bike over here, and then when I talked to my buddy Ben, who's in all my videos and works at Dirty River Bicycle Works, he was telling me that the combination of the tires I have and the rims on that bike are notoriously hard to do. So I have a solution we're going to try with that, which is putting a tube in it to get the bead to pop, and then trying to pull the tube out a small section, put the tubeless sealant in, blah, blah, blah. But first up, what I need to do is a combination that's not supposed to be as bad, which is these Velocity 135s and the Rene Herse Endurance casing. I have pushed this tire way beyond where you ever should. Next week, we are heading off to Connecticut to do the Nutmeg Nor'easter event. We're also doing a ride the day before it, and then me and Ben will be riding back 400-mile credit card tour after Nutmeg, so I cannot be riding on these, so I want to see if I could get them set up myself. My whole thing is once I get these set up, then the thing will be just to maintain them. One of my problems is I let the sealant dry up, I get a flat, the whole bead gets popped, blah, 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 whatever, I've ruined the whole thing. I feel like if I keep maintaining them, then, you know, obviously it's something I could do myself. It's something I should do myself for as often as, you know, I need to deal with Tubeless. The other thing is with Tubeless for me, for those of you who are like, what's the point, blah, blah, blah. Once you switch to running tubeless on your main bikes or your main bike, it's very hard to go back to tubes because there's a peace of mind that comes from tubeless if you're someone who rides gnarly stuff. And that is the real selling point on them. It's just that you get a puncture, it seals itself up. When I was only riding vintage road bikes and my old mountain bike, the amount of flats I got, exponential compared to what I get with tubeless tires. Looks like the sealant that is remaining in this tire is dried up. So we are just going to pull this tire off. There's nothing in here to save. When I tried to do this originally, I was just going to add some sealant, but then I realized how bad of shape the tire was in. So basically I just injected some sealant through the valve core with that tool I showed you, and then I've just run it like this for a little while longer. But yep, now that sealant is dried up. So I thought what I was going to do is be sucking it out and putting it back in. But there's a little bit of moisture in here, so it's a miracle that I have not gotten a flat riding this bike. You know, me and Aaron did that gravel ride. You've seen some of the YouTube shorts of the gnarly rats rides we've been doing. So yeah, as you can see, there is a little bit of moisture in there, but not much. Come off there, bud. So I've talked about before how I love standard casing and even extra light casing in Rene Herse tires. But for the Gunnar, I go with the endurance casing. I just ride this over all the gnarly stuff and do mountain biking. And I just find the standard casing just can't handle the stupid stuff that I do on the bike. And so then I end up putting tubes in it, and I defeat the point of a supple tire set up tubeless. Fleecer Ridge 55mm endurance casing tires are what we're trying to put on to the blunt 35s today. Let me know down below, do you guys do the thing where you always line up the logos on the tires with the valve? Thing you're supposed to do, I guess. Oh wow, I got a lot of dents in these rims. So the tire went on pretty easy. I didn't need to use any tools or anything like that. Could be a good thing or a bad thing, because I feel like it's nice it went on easy, but I feel like it means that the bead is not going to pop on with my compressor. This might be another situation where we're trying to put a tube in. Yeah, no chance. With the valve core in, this is not going to do anything. Air is going out all around the rim. There's no chance there's enough rush of an air to get this bead to pop. So let's pull the valve core and see if we get anything better. I don't think it's going to work, though. No, not a chance. Not a chance. I could be doing a million things wrong too, so you could tell me later in the video if I don't figure this out by the end of the video. But I mean, there's no, look, there's no, nothing. So what we're doing now is we're gonna try the tube method. We're gonna put in a tube in here, see if we could get the bead to pop, and then we will just try and pull the tube out. So bead is popped in place with the tube in there. Let's see if we could get the tube out without losing everything. I have no idea. And again, if you're new to my channel is never how to do things, it's how I do things. And this video might end with a trip to the bike shop. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen. I do still have the bead in on one side, which is nice. That's part of what we're hoping for. It's not, this is not gonna work. It's a fool's errand. A fool's errand. All right, so what ended up happening is the bead is set on one side and not at all on the side that the tube came out. I have zero hope that this will actually pop into place, but I'm going to try it anyways. I have zero hope that this is going to work, but I'm going to try it. Not a chance. So what did we learn today? That without the right tools, tubeless is something I'm not going to attempt to do on my own. I'm going to maintain them on my own from now on. I'm going to make sure I put sealant in there every so often. I think 3 months is the recommendation. I'll check on all of that stuff when I'm getting new tires set up to the bike shop. There are certain things in life for me that aren't worth my time and you pay the experts to do. Like my car, I was proud of doing my own oil changes for years. And now I would rather just pay someone to do it because the amount of money I save is not worth my time. Tubeless is now one of those things that I know is in my book of I ain't messing with it. I will maintain it on my own, but I'm not even spending another ever again second doing what we just did here tonight. And dusty little Edmund agrees. So Future Tim here. One thing I am doing to help with the maintenance now that I had the shop set the tires up is I will be marking these down on my calendar for, I think on these I'm going to mark them down for 2 months. They say every 3 months, but I've just noticed with the light casing, these are the extra light, and then I have a standard casing, that the sealant just dries up faster. So for the endurance casing one, I'll mark that on my calendar for 3 months. The other thing I'm going to do is I am going to get these back on the Raeigh and go for a ride just to make sure. Yeah, I mean, I want to go for a ride because I like to ride my bike, but specifically with these to make sure the sealant's just getting everywhere. And the best thing to do after you set a bike up tubeless is take it for a spin. One other tip. People act like quick release and disc brakes are the end of the world, like it's a huge problem. I don't agree. Did a whole live stream with Party Size Cycling about that. But when I set the bike back down the right way, I do like to reset the quick release to make sure it's seated in the position it will be with all the weight on it. Doesn't matter as much on my front ones because that style drop out, you pretty much know you have it in there. But for these, I will undo it, make sure it's in the dropout the way it should be. This for demonstration purposes only. I need to do it. I want to do it with my hands and without the camera in my mouth and all that stuff. But just a little bit of a pro tip there to make sure your gears are lined up and you're, you know. I don't know if you youngins have ever seen what quick release looks like when it's not tight. So yes, it's a little ridiculous that my Raeigh has been sitting like this for so long, especially with this good weather, and that's the bike I like to ride when the weather is nice and winter is coming and I'm going to miss it so much. But that's one of the things with me is it's just like, I'm someone who loves to ride bikes, maintenance stuff and all that, like keeping the drivetrain clean, but like all the other stuff that goes with it is just not me. And if you watch this video for a while, you know I tinker with bikes, I've built up bikes, but that's like a lot of winter projects. When something's not working and the fact that I do have multiple bikes, I just end up riding something else and then this happens. And that's also maybe why I'm someone who does benefit from just going to the bike shop. And I know a lot of people like that, and I don't think there's any shame in it. Well, I guess I should have been doing all that maintenance today because it's the first day that's just a complete washout in a while. Anyways, let me know, what do you guys do yourself and what do you choose to take to the shop? I know some of you guys personally do everything yourself and some of you guys take everything to the shop, but I'm guessing more people are like me where you're in the middle, where some things you'll mess with and other things you decide, you know what, I'll just pay to get that done. All right, thanks as always for watching. I will see you in the next video. Peace.